week or later in the year. So we'll go over all that with you. Speaking of high school, coming up later on tonight, of course, the high school spotlight every Tuesday in the 11 o'clock hour on Hacker After Dark. Justin Barney of Channel 4 will join us, and we'll talk to a couple of coaches that deserve a little love for the way they've started their season. Mike Kolakowski, the head coach at Decoy Creek. They have done a fantastic job. Coach Kolakowski and his staff have done out there in St. Johns County. Year number 2 for that program. Year 2 in existence. They're 4-1 so far here in 2022. So we'll go out there and talk to Coach Kolakowski of Decoy Creek coming up in the high school spotlight, as well as on the south side of Jacksonville, Inglewood High School, Frank Frangi's alma mater, if I'm not mistaken. Zach Harbison, the head coach of the Inglewood football program, also set to join us in the high school spotlight tonight. Hayes Carline of the Frangie Show will stop by in the 10 o'clock hour this evening, as will my friend Brent Beard. You see him on First Coast News. You hear him here every week talking college ball with you on Hacker After Dark. So we got a ton to do. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. Thank you for staying up late with us on a Tuesday, as we do every night. Here on Hacker After Dark, we kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
You know, I don't know if I'm the only person that feels this way. I'm probably going to assume that I'm not. I imagine there's a lot of people that share this sentiment. When the Jaguars walked off the field in Los Angeles on Sunday, after just demolishing the Chargers, 2-1, first place in the AFC South, it was kind of surreal, right? Almost like we're living in a dream. Everything we've talked about, from Trevor Lawrence to Christian Kirk to Travon Walker, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Foye Oluokun, all the additions, right? Every single free agent, the draft class, Travis Etienne, James Robinson are both healthy. Everything has been flawless the last 2 weeks. Flawless. Has anything gone wrong, either against Indianapolis or against LA for the Jaguars? Very little, man. They've given up 1 touchdown in 2 games. They've scored 62 points in 2 games. And they have just beaten up and down the field Matt Ryan and the Colts and Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And I don't know if it's week after week after week, month after month after month, and year after year after year, after just getting beat over the head by the Jaguars, both as a member of the media and you as a fan listening to 1010XL right now. But it is a surreal feeling that here we are. Power rankings come out today. I saw Pro Football Talk, ESPN, CBS Sports. And all of these power rankings have the Jaguars right now in the top 10. The top 10 of teams in the National Football League. I am programmed whenever power rankings come out, or whenever lists of any sort regarding NFL teams come out, to scroll directly to the bottom. 30, 31, and 32, because that's where the Jaguars have been for 12 out of the last 13 years. They've been awful. They've been at the bottom of everything. But seeing, like right now, I'm looking at CBS Sports Power Rankings, Pete Prisco. Jaguars at number 9. And I'm looking at this thing, and I see it. I know it's real. It's staring me right in the face. It's just kind of hard to believe. It's kind of hard to believe the Jaguars have gotten off to this start. It's hard to believe that 8 months ago, some of you were dressed in clown costumes to essentially protest what was going on here. It's hard to believe it's been less than a calendar year since Urban Meyer did not get on a team plane with the Jaguars, stayed and partied in a bar in Ohio, and a video went viral of him and a young lady. It's hard to believe that less than a calendar year ago, he reportedly got into a shouting match with Marvin Jones and other players on the team. That did not happen 5 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago. In fact, I want to say the year anniversary of the Cincinnati game is coming up in the next day or two. That was week 4 of the NFL season last year. Thursday night football. Week 4 this year coming up on Sunday. So we got to be closing in on the 1-year anniversary of that situation with Urban in the state of Ohio.
It was September 30th.
So it was September 30th. What is today, the 27th?
Yes.
Yeah, so on Friday. It'll be 1 year on Friday that happened in Cincinnati. Feels a lot longer than that. A lot longer than that. Huh. If I were to tell you on September 30th last year, as we were talking about that video, that in 1 year's time, Jacksonville will beat the Chargers by 28, after beating the Colts by 24, will be in first place in the AFC South. Would you believe that? Of course not. The turnaround here has been unreal. I know it's early. The season could derail very quickly. I totally understand that. But that's not where we are right now. On September 27th, 2022. Because right now, on September 27th, 2022, the Jacksonville Jaguars are arguably the biggest surprise in the National Football League. Arguably. And it's fun, man. It's fun talking to your buddies that are out of town, talking to family members, watching national shows where A, Jacksonville is getting some conversation, and B, it's not negative. People are talking in a positive way about Trevor Lawrence, about Doug Peterson. I thought it was really interesting. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. On the Rich Eisen show yesterday, they played a soundbite of Trevor Lawrence at SoFi Stadium in L.A. last year when the Jaguars lost to the Rams. That was, of course, the James Robinson game where he fumbled and Urban took him out. And Trevor had to actually go to Urban and say, "Where is James Robinson?" Remember that fiasco? So Trevor addressed the media last year in SoFi Stadium after that game. And what I like what Rich Eisen did is then he did another soundbite of Sunday. Same stadium, same interview room, less than a calendar year later. And you look at Trevor Lawrence this year compared to last year. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. From the things he said to his body language to just his demeanor at the podium. Completely night and day. Which that gets me to this. I didn't think it was possible to make the Urban Meyer year here in Jacksonville any worse. And I still am not sure it's possible, but I think there might be one thing that makes it worse. In reflecting on it now, I guess, 9 months since he's been relieved of his duties, is that they probably had talent last year. Trevor's good. James Robinson is good. Marvin Jones, Cam Robinson, Jawan Taylor, all the guys that were here last year. The defensive guys, Devon Hamilton, Roy Robertson Harris, DeJuan Smoot, Josh Allen. Those guys are playing their tails off. You didn't see a lot of that last year. How indicting is it of Urban Meyer and the staff and just everything that went on here in 2021 that they were the laughing stock of the league, and in less than a calendar year, heck, less than 10 months, they've gone from the laughing stock of football to the biggest surprise in football. Again, I didn't think it could get any worse. But my goodness, they are 180 degrees a different football team now than they were a mere 10 months ago. Absolutely incredible how bad it was last year. Absolutely incredible how great it is this year. But the one thing that I'm curious about is with the winning, with the positive vibes nationally on all the talk shows, comes expectation. How are the Jaguars going to handle success? A lot of these guys have never won in the NFL before. DeJuan Smoot, Josh Allen, Jawan Taylor, the long-tenured Jaguars, never won. They've lost double-digit games every year they've been in the league. In fact, the only guys on this team that have won in the NFL, well, the only guy that won here in the NFL in Jacksonville, I believe, was Cam Robinson, right? Was Smoot here in 2017? Smoot might have been here. I don't know if he played, but he might have been here. Cam Robinson was definitely here, and he started in the AFC Championship game. But aside from Cam Robinson, I don't think there's anybody left that played a big role on that AFC Championship roster. I don't think there's anybody left, offense or defense. Cam Robinson and Myles Jack were like the last two holdovers. And now that Myles Jack's gone, Cam is the only guy here that can tell his teammates. At least the only starting guy here. I guess Tyler Shatley was also on the team.
Smoot was on the Jags.
Smoot was on the Jags. But again, I don't think he ever played. He was probably inactive for some of those games.
He had 20 tackles, 13 solo.
All right, 20 tackles in 16 games. So he averaged basically a tackle a game. But Cam Robinson's really the only guy left with significant playing time from that team. You look at the guys they've brought in. Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, haven't experienced a great deal of winning. Zay Jones, same thing. Winning is going to be new to a lot of these guys. Evan Ingram was with the Giants the last 5 years. They haven't won anything. How will this team handle a little bit of success? You think it's interesting now? If they go to Philadelphia and they win on Sunday, then you're going to have a whole different conversation. If you go Indianapolis, the Chargers, and the Eagles, back-to-back-to-back wins, two of which were on the road in Los Angeles and in Philly, there will be legitimate conversation at that point if the Jacksonville Jaguars are a top 5 team in the league. Does any team have a more impressive resume? Miami, probably, because Miami has wins over New England and Buffalo, and they're undefeated. In the AFC, other than Miami, are there two more impressive wins than what Jacksonville has? Indianapolis and the Chargers? I don't know. So 2 good wins, man. And my gracious, if they beat Philadelphia on Sunday, it's going to be a tough putt. We're going to go to Philadelphia later on in the week. Former Eagle Ike Reese is going to join us. Spent 7 years in a Philadelphia Eagle uniform. Now does WIP Sports Radio up there. We'll talk to some other Eagle beat writers as well. Want to get their perspective, not only on the game Sunday, but Doug Peterson returning to Philadelphia. It's a great opportunity for the Jaguars, but keep in mind, back-to-back road games, the weather situation here. You're playing a really good Eagles team. It's going to be tough. Are the Jaguars playing with house money on Sunday? And you hate to have that mindset, but seriously, Jaguar fans, if I would have told you 3 weeks ago you're going to be 2-2 in the first 4, you would have taken that in a heartbeat. 2-2 in the first 4, you would have said, where do I sign? They've already clinched that. They're 2-1 right now. You can't get any worse than 2-2 in the first 4. Is it a house money situation with Jacksonville in Philly on Sunday? That's another thing we'll get into as the week goes on. We have an absolute ton to do. We're going to catch up with Hayes Carline of the Frangie Show in just a bit. Also, Brent Beard talking some college ball later on in the 10 o'clock hour. As always, Jacksonville, we're streaming for your viewing pleasure on YouTube. Go to the 1010XL YouTube channel. Hacker After Dark will be there till midnight tonight. Likewise, at 1010XL on Twitter. You can watch the show there until midnight tonight as well. Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, Hayes Carline of the Frangie Show. He's our guy when it comes to Jaguar coverage here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We'll review the Chargers. We'll preview the Eagles with Hayes Carline next on Hacker After Dark.
60 minutes of football.
60 minutes.
4 quarters
For a fourth quarter fight.
and one play that ruled the day.
Throws it for the touchdown!
Performance Painting presents the high performance play of the game on 1010XL. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief for joint pain. Leon Searcy here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatment with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injuries or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroid, pain meds, and surgeries are the only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore damaged tissues. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-to-bone arthritis and been told that you need replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for any alternative way to deal with pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give your life back with no drugs and no surgery. QC Kinetics in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's best sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and much more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 800-79-BETUS and get into the action. Don't forget to mention promo code 1010XL. BetUS, where the game begins.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call me, Mark Anajar, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Pickett here for my friends at Roof It Right. Been told your roof no longer qualifies for insurance coverage? Call my friends at Roof It Right today and learn about their Golden Pledge warranty. It's the best materials, the best service, and the best warranties. That's why I endorse Roof It Right, and that's why they're the company I know and trust. Make this roof your last roof with a warranty that's good as gold. Visit roofitRightFL.com today. That's right, roofitRightFL.com. Roof It Right, so you can sleep at night.
Jeff Prosser here. Do you have a damaged roof on your home? I did too, so I had Ken Lawler and his team help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, tell us how it works.
Jeff, our team walks you through the process and eliminates the confusion that comes with filing an insurance claim and getting it properly settled. It's all free if we don't recover money for your claim. If you have a damaged roof, call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit FEAClaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we? Roland Reach Plumbing! Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Rotator cuff tears are the most common overhead injuries I see. In order to avoid shoulder issues, make sure not to overload the front of the shoulder while also focusing on developing good scapular strength and maintaining flexibility in your lats. Proper hydration, nutrition, and supplementation are also crucial to joint and muscle health. Go Jag.
What's the latest on the Seminoles?
Join me, Fat Tony, and I'll keep you up to date on Florida State.
Keep up with Norvell's Knowles on the Seminole Report. Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The first place Jacksonville Jaguars. Good grief, how does that sound? Here in late September, the Jaguars 2-1 after just demolishing the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday. Of course, the Doug Peterson Bowl lies ahead as Jacksonville travels to Philadelphia for a big contest this next Sunday afternoon. Hayes Carline of the Frangie Show, he's our guy when it comes to Jaguar coverage here on 1010XL, and he's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Hayes, how we doing?
Doing great, Hacker. How are you?
Hayes, we're good, man. Thank you for the time. And, boy, as a guy that's covered this team for many, many years, you have seen some down times like we all have for the Jaguars. Yesterday, wow, I was speechless. I mean, they went to Los Angeles, California, Hayes, and they destroyed a good NFL team. Your thoughts on what happened in Los Angeles?
It was stunning. To win by that kind of dominance. You know, obviously the Chargers had the injuries. The CBS announcers were kind enough to point that out about 5 million times in the broadcast.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, I thought that it was a phenomenal effort, obviously. And the thing that stood out to me, Hacker, and this is the genesis of what I wrote for 1010XL.com, is to go for it on 4th and 1 from midfield in the third quarter. Was the reason the Jaguars were able to coast to this win. And I just don't think that any coach that the Jaguars have had since I've been covering them in 2013 would have gone for it there. And Doug Peterson did. His reward was a 50-yard touchdown run by James Robinson. And then all of a sudden now it's 23-10. You've taken the momentum away from the Chargers, who opened the second half with a field goal to make it a one-possession game. And I thought at that point it was just going to be a matter of how bad is this going to end up being, and obviously the Jaguars just went on to romp them. So to me, that was the play of the game, the call of the game, and it just speaks to what a great job Doug Peterson is doing with this team. I mean, you look at the raw numbers through 3 games, and you know the Jaguars are second in the NFL in point differential at plus 46, only behind the Bills, who are plus 53. You look at James Robinson's on pace for 1,300 yards on the ground. You look at the fact that they're dominating opponents in the trenches. They're out rushing teams 370 to 165 so far. So what that's leading to is the Jaguars have the football. They've had it on average about 9 minutes more than the opponent so far in 3 games. I mean, that is astonishing, particularly for where the Jaguars have been. I mean, it's a hell of a number for any team, but it's a really good number for a team that's won 4 games in the last 2 years combined. And then you go to what he's done with Trevor Lawrence, who, you know, I thought it was fair to criticize him after the first game. He missed a couple of throws you just can't miss, you know, in the loss to the Commanders. But he has really rebounded, and you look at where he is right now, you know, 69.4% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's only been sacked twice, and a passer rating well over 100. He is just playing marvelous football, and you've got a defense that has 11 guys that either have a sack, an interception, or a fumble recovery. That 11 doesn't include Foley Fatukasi, who deflected a ball that Devin Lloyd ended up intercepting. So you almost have to include him in that, because Lloyd doesn't make the pick unless Fatukasi gets his hand on it. So if you include him, it's 12. I mean, that's remarkable. They're making plays all over the place, and it's just really fun right now watching this Jaguars football team.
There's no question about it, and the Jaguar fans deserve it. And that leads me to this question, Hayes. The Jaguar fans are smart, they're loyal, they're passionate, but let's not confuse things. Quite a few of them, and quite a few of us in the media, quite frankly, we're clamoring for Byron Leftwich, and we're all over Trent Baalke's case as recently as 6 months ago in March. And they go out and bring in Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram, and some people were scratching their heads like, why not make a bigger splash? What are you doing in free agency? I got to tell you, it's 3 games, so take it for what it is. It's a small sample size, but they obviously hired the right coach to this point, and they obviously were doing the right things in free agency. I don't know if an apology is in order, but man alive, what Baalke and Peterson are doing with this roster and this organization is very, very impressive.
Yeah, well, I'll apologize. I mean, Trent Baalke's done an outstanding job from what we can see so far. You know, now it starts with Shad Khan because he was committed to them spending whatever it took. And they've spent to the cap. I mean, they do not have a lot of wiggle room. They do not have a lot of money to spend next year. You know, the big high-priced free agents, that's over now in Jacksonville for a while. But that's fine because if you're going to spend to it, then at least have success. And that's exactly what they're having. They're in first place in the division. So Shad Khan said, go spend whatever you need. Trent Baalke so far and Doug Peterson is a tandem, have identified and brought in the right guys. And I mean, they're having unbelievable success. I mean, if you bat, 500 in terms of the big decisions that you make in this league, you're going to go to the playoffs. And Hacker, to your point, what major decision have they made so far this offseason that we're sitting there like, well, what are you doing? Well, you paid Christian Kirk. That was brilliant, at least so far. You brought in Zay Jones. That looks to be a really good move. Brandon Sheriff, really good move. You draft Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd. Look like really good moves. You signed Fatukasi and Aluakan. Look like really good moves. It's pretty remarkable. Really, to be honest, right now, of every decision that they've made, this administration has made this calendar year, is really paying off so far. And again, other than injury, I don't think there's anything to suggest that it's not going to continue. I mean, you're not going to all of a sudden have these guys that are making big time plays get worse. It's just a question of can you keep them all? Can you keep enough of them healthy? But so far, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I certainly feel like Trent Baalke deserves an apology. Now, again, part of that was just wanting a totally clean sweep and a clean new perspective of let's build this up and let's not have any ties to the old regime. And again, with Baalke, you had to worry about the personality conflicts that he's had in the past. Hopefully that won't happen with Doug Peterson. But in terms of talent acquisition, I mean, yeah, it's been phenomenal, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see how these guys continue to gel because they're going to be a tougher out in November than they are now, which is kind of scary when you see the way that they've played the last 2 weeks against the Colts and Chargers.
A couple of more for Hayes Carline. You get him every afternoon on the Frangie Show. Of course, he's our guy when it comes to Jaguar coverage here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hayes, there's so many things about the roster we could talk about. We talk a lot about Trevor and the offense. I want to focus really quick on the defense. I was always jealous of the Titans when they drafted Keith Bullock because you knew right off the bat that guy was going to be a problem for the next decade. Indianapolis, when they drafted Darius, I guess now Shaquille Leonard, same thing. You knew that guy was going to be a problem for the next decade for opposing teams. Hayes, I got to tell you, watching Devin Lloyd out there, man, that guy's everywhere. And he was hurt in the preseason. He's only played 3 regular season games, got very little work in the preseason. Watching that game back this morning, 33 is everywhere out there. And I think the Jaguars got a steal at number 27 in the draft.
Yeah, that's a great point, Hacker, because we're only really about a month from him coming back. I mean, when you think about it, it was probably about a month ago that he was cleared, because it was very late in preseason. He was able to obviously play a little bit in the preseason finale. So, yeah, a lot of these guys, they've been going since late July. For Devin Lloyd, he's only been going for about a month. And to see the strides that he's making, I totally agree. I'm with you. I love the pick when they made it. The night they made it. I can't say that about the Trayvon Walker pick. I did not love that pick when they made it until I saw him, and then obviously, the euphoria began, and but with Devin Lloyd, it's he's exactly what you need in today's NFL. He's sideline to sideline. He's instinctive. He finishes plays and he makes big plays. So. With Devin Lloyd, with Trayvon Walker, I like what I'm seeing, out of the young secondary. They did it yesterday without Shaq Griffin, which I think is impressive. So the Chargers can say, well, that they didn't have Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen's a better player than Shaq Griffin, but the Jaguars can also say, okay, well, we didn't have arguably our best corner, now thankfully that's the only one, and hopefully he'll be fine for Sunday's game in Philadelphia, but. Yeah, it's sensational right now what they've got, along the defensive side of the ball. And again, it seems like there wasn't anything yesterday from a health standpoint. Certainly nothing that was obvious to us. Doug Peterson will address that later on, but it doesn't seem like this is going to be a team that all of a sudden has 3 or 4 injuries, assuming nothing happens this week in practice. You'd like to think Shaq Griffin will go, and it'll be just regular, healthy inactives when they go to Philadelphia for what is going to be a monster game. I mean, just this game would have been big regardless, but now you factor in that these teams are a combined 5-1, and it is going to be a monster game in Philadelphia. I can't wait to be there.
1010XL's Hayes Carline. Hayes, as we begin to wrap up, look, the Jaguars have been a punching bag for the rest of the NFL for arguably, 13 out of the last 14 years, certainly a punching bag over the last 4 seasons. Now they appear to have the boxing gloves, and they're getting a lot of love nationally. You go to ESPN or CBS or NFL Network, and there's stories about the Jaguars on the front page of all those websites. The Jaguars are actually being mentioned on NFL Network shows, on ESPN shows. And my question to you, with a young football team like this, and you're around these guys a lot, how will they react now to success? Because a lot of these guys have not experienced success in the NFL until right now.
I think they're going to handle it well. It's a great question, and the human element is certainly something that you've got to always monitor with a young team and a team that hasn't had a lot of success recently. But the thing is, they've got so many young guys that I think, came from programs where they expected to win in college, that I think this is actually probably more their comfort zone than the other. I think if you're Trevor Lawrence or ETN or Trayvon Walker, Tyson Campbell, Devin Lloyd, those guys were winning. So I think for them this is going to feel more like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be, not, oh my God, we're winning. What is this? I've never experienced this. And so, I think there's so few guys on this roster that have been here long enough, I think, to have significant, scar tissue from the losing, that I don't think it's going to be a big deal. And I certainly think Doug Peterson right now has a really good hold of them from an emotional standpoint, a concentration and focus standpoint. Certainly seems like they're buying into his, mantra of, okay, let's, you won. That's great. Let's enjoy it for 24 hours, put it aside, and let's get ready to go and be 1-0 this week. And that's not overly exciting for media and for fans necessarily, but it is perfect in terms of just, executing your responsibilities on a day-to-day basis, staying in the process and being at your best. And he just seems like right now, every button that Doug Peterson is pushing is working. Hacker, I come back to this as well. We talked about, some stats. The Jaguars are winning every quarter so far this season. Every quarter. Even like the Philadelphia Eagles can't say that. That they are winning every quarter, and the most significant quarter, this is something we bring up with the Gators because of how poor they've been. In the third quarter, the Jaguars are winning 31-3 so far this season. So just the adjustments that the staff is making, the game planning going in, the anticipation, just everything right now, 3 games in, I don't think there's anything that we change.
All right, Hayes, we got 90 seconds to go as we say goodbye to you. As you said, you're going to be up in Philadelphia on Sunday. Here's my question. You come back from the West Coast if you're the Jaguars. You get in late. Oh, by the way, there's a hurricane coming. Not that it's going to make landfall here, but it's going to rain an awful lot here, which is going to affect some things you would think with the preparation. And you're going to play an undefeated team in Philadelphia with the knowledge that Doug Peterson is returning to a place where he won a title and there's a trophy of him in front of that stadium. Having said all that, I would think it would be a tough putt for Jacksonville on Sunday, but I said the same thing last week before they went to L.A. I mean, what's your early thought here on the Jaguars and the Eagles?
I think it is a tough putt because, the Colts and Chargers were dealing with significant injuries. You can't brush that aside. The Eagles are pretty healthy, and they're playing at a very high level. They've only given up 15 total points in their last two games combined against Minnesota and Washington. So obviously Jalen Hurts is going to get the lion's share of the attention this week. He should. A.J. Brown is sensational. They've got a really good tight end in Dallas Goedert. So offensively, Philadelphia is what jumps off the page in terms of how efficient and explosive they are. But defensively right now, the Eagles are playing really good football as well. So they're a very complete team. And and they're a healthy team, it appears. So it's going to be a tough putt. To me, this is the Jaguars playing with some house money. I think anybody would have taken 2-2 at the quarter pole. So if you go up and get a win, then the city is absolutely on fire at 3-1. If they go up and lose a competitive game, then I think it's one of those things that's disappointing, but you quickly move on to the next. You just don't want to see them go up there and just get manhandled. But at this point, the way they're playing, I'd be shocked if that happens. I think the Eagles win, but I think it's going to be a really close game.
You get Hayes Carline every afternoon on the Frangie Show. You can read him at 1010XL.com, and he'll be in Philly representing the station for the Jaguars and the Eagles Sunday at 1 o'clock. Hayes, thank you for the time, man. Appreciate it. Safe travels to Philly. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks so much for having me, Hacker. Have a great day.
Always appreciate Hayes Carline joining us here on Hacker After Dark. Again, Jaguars, Eagles, Sunday, 1 o'clock. The game will be here on 1010XL. Pre-game coverage beginning at 8 a.m. That is the NFL side of things. Obviously, a lot went on the college football gridiron. Florida loses to Tennessee. What's next for the Gators? Miami, good grief, gets blown out by Middle Tennessee. What's next for the Hurricanes at that quarterback spot? Georgia back into SEC play this week. Oh, it's Missouri. It should be an absolute rout. And then the big one, Florida State, Wake Forest, Saturday, 3:30, Doak Campbell Stadium. They are fired up in the state capitol. Let's talk about all that and a look around the Southeastern Conference as well with Brent Beard. You get him on First Coast News. You also get him right here on Hacker After Dark. It is a Tuesday night in the city of Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. Brent Beard talking college ball next here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
A great general knows what to anticipate from the enemy.
Out here, it's military law.
Hayes Carline takes you behind enemy lines.
And I'm in charge of enforcing it.
Each week during the Wingstop Kickoff Show, 5 hours before kickoff. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
Attention all current lease owners. Before you turn in your vehicle, come get a free appraisal and equity evaluation at Key Buick GMC. Key can pay off your lease early. Do not wait. Now is the time to go to Key Buick GMC. They are currently buying all makes and models. The market conditions are increasing the value of your vehicle each and every day. So come see what your car is worth. Ask for Derek or Steve. That's Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate, or go to KeyBuickGMC.com.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. Mad Dad's is gearing up for our 14th annual motorcycle ride on September 24th. The ride is in support of victims that have died in a violent crime. The ride will begin at Harley-Davidson at I-95 in Bay Meadow, zigzags through the city where murders and shootings have occurred. It will end at Edgewood and London. We will go through Arlington to the east side, north side, Paxton, west side, Lackawanna, and end at Edgewood and Lenox. There will be a celebration at the end of the ride for families who have had a loved one die from a violent nature. The ride will begin at 11 a.m. We're asking everyone to stand out and give us a shout out. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
For information about Mad Dad, go to Mad Dad Jacksonville Chapter Facebook or MadDadJacksonville.com.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8217.
Hacker here for my friends at Xfinity. Well, get the speed you need at a great price. It's also the fastest internet on the largest gig speed network. In fact, Xfinity gig speed internet is available to 99% of their footprint. You can also enjoy all your favorite apps. They're all in one place. That's with the Flex 4K streaming box that's free with your Xfinity internet. You can stay connected on the go with over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. And Xfinity's internet service brings your entire experience together by connecting other services like xFi, Advanced Security, Xfinity Flex, and more. Now, this is based on Xfinity's fastest available download speeds, not available in all areas. Performance may be limited by customer's device configuration. Go to Xfinity.com. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit an Xfinity store today. Jacksonville. Do what I did and do what so many others in our community have done for years. Get hooked up with Xfinity.
Wholesale prices, premium service. Tire Outlet.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. This September, get ready to off-road with Tire Outlet. Grab your trucks, ATVs, and trailers and gear up with a vast selection of all-terrain tires and specials. Wholesale prices, premium service. So gear up. All you got to do is visit TireOutlet.com to schedule an appointment today.
Wholesale prices, premium service. Tire Outlet.
Are you getting hit hard with higher costs and higher interest rates? Is your credit card rate going up every month? Hey, it's Prosser here. How'd you like to wipe out those credit cards before the holidays? It's time to call Loan Pronto because your home equity can rescue you right now. Your home value is still way up, and there's a ton of cash that you can get now. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. You can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those credit cards, consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut around $800 from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a little, it's offset by your current credit card rate going to zero. And when rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refinance you again for free. So don't wait. Call Loan Pronto. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 999-1508. Equal housing lender, MLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Safe Harbor Seafood and Market is one of the largest sources of fresh local seafood in the Southeast. This football season, when the family wants fresh seafood for game day, stock up at Safe Harbor Seafood Market and Restaurant, located in Old Mayport, or the new location in Crescent Beach. Award-winning seafood right in your backyard. Family-owned and operated for generations. Safe Harbor Seafood and Market. For store hours, go online to safeharbor-seafood.com.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, T-Mobile, and Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 27, 1919, Red Sox slugger Babe Ruth takes his MLB home run record to 29 with a third-inning blast at Washington.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, hello. Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, a good week of college football coming up. Certainly a lot to preview, a lot to react to based on what happened last Saturday. Let's do that with my friend Brent Beard. You see him on First Coast News, and you get him here every week with me on Hacker After Dark. Brent, my friend, how are you?
Well, I'm doing well. Good to be on with you, Hank. Certainly thoughts and prayers for all of us in our radio family and in our individual families over the next few days, that we be as safe as possible in the midst of the weather situation. But beyond that, too, for what we do every day, it is simply a tremendous week for college football. Unbelievably, as we get into October, and the question is going to be, where did September go? But things are heating up very quickly in college football.
There's no doubt about that. And for the first time in a long time, Brent, to the victors go the spoils. We're going to start with Florida State. When you're 4-0 and you're ranked, you're going to get first position here on Hacker After Dark. And look, they got a big one on Saturday. We're going to know a lot about Florida State, Brent, over the next 18 days, because they go Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson, back to back to back. But my goodness, they took Boston College just behind the woodshed on Saturday night. And Brent, they have to feel pretty good about themselves coming into this game on Saturday.
The amazing thing is that Jordan Travis was already back. People may have missed that, but not only was he back, but he was 16 of 26 for 321. And look, you remember that Louisville game, Hack? We didn't think he'd be back for quite some time. So
he was on crutches at the end of the game. Yeah, it looked really bad.
Absolutely. Glad that he is. But the thing that they're doing is they're able to run the ball. Trey Benson and that trio of backs has really played well. And 4-0, first time since 2015. See, the importance of this Boston College win, you and I have talked about this now for months. They have a tendency to lose games like this, don't they, Hack? That are these 50-50 games. They may go either way. Now, and even when Florida State was the better football team over the last few years, they've lost games like this. But they played very well, limited Boston College to just 3.7 yards per play. That's quite impressive. The culture is changing. They feel good about who they are. But as you've said, the challenges are coming the next few weeks. Can this defense has played really well be able to deal with Sam Hartman, who, and frankly, Wake should have beat Clemson in it, double overtime loss. You wonder how much that will take out of Wake Forest, trying to beat Clemson the first time in 13 games, not able to do it. But again, hopefully no issues from the storm with the stadium, that they're ongoing and be ready. So huge game for Florida State. I mean, look, Hack, they're close now to something we didn't think would happen in the beginning, was making a bowl game. So they are 2 wins away from that. And that's worth celebrating for Florida State fans right now.
Yeah, I absolutely think they're on their way to that. And I said last night, if Norvell wins these next 3, he's going to be National Coach of the Year in the country.
Absolutely.
I don't believe they will win the next 3. I think, more realistically, getting 1, maybe 2 of them. You got to get at least 1. No. If you lose the next 3, then that kind of offsets anything done now. But as you said, they were supposed to beat Louisville. they were supposed to beat Boston College. They did. Credit to them, and they looked very good in doing it. I don't know if they're necessarily supposed to beat Wake, NC State, or certainly Clemson. So that's why, to me, their season will be told here over the next 2.5 weeks or so. Miami, Brent, boy, you just scratch your head there, man. Mario Cristobal had things just rolling, just cooking with grease as recently as 10 days ago. Then you go to College Station, you lose to A&M, you lose just an inexcusable game to Middle Tennessee, and you get beat pretty handily by Middle Tennessee, as a matter of fact. What now for the Hurricanes going into this bye week?
They need a bye week, don't they? The truth of the matter is they really let A&M beat them twice is what happened here when they lost to Texas A&M in a game they frankly could have won if they would have been more aggressive. Let me say this. If they would have been as aggressive as Billy Napier was with Tennessee, they probably would have won that A&M game and may have had something left in the tank in order to beat Middle. But there's some very concerning things here. One is Tyler Van Dyke, who is 16 of 32 from 138, and right now has the second worst, not the second best, but the second worst completion percentage. Obviously, Van Dyke, who was lauded and applauded in the preseason, has come back down to earth to the point where Jake Garcia had to replace him, and that's going to be an interesting off week to see what happens there. They were not able to run the ball at all. 38 carries, 60 yards. Oh, my. And to me, the biggest problem for them is their defense. Now, their beat writers were not shy about telling people in the offseason that even though they had some transfers in, that this defense needed a lot of work. And I mean, Middle Tennessee just was able to score almost at will, particularly on the secondary. That's a real problem. Now this rebuild's going to take some time, and they're nowhere near where they need to be, but there is no excuse in losing this football game. There's a lot of culture that's going to have to be changed at Miami. Miami is not back. Miami is not even close to being back. Neither is Texas, and both these fan bases like to say that, but that is not the case. They've got to be able to recruit a lot better than they have. And heck, this is something that people need to remember about Mario Cristobal. I really like Cristobal. I think he's a good budding football coach. But Cristobal, when he was at Oregon, every year that he was there, and he wasn't there that long, but the time that he was there, he had at least 2 mystifying, unexplainable losses every year. And unfortunately, that trend is going on here at Miami. So not saying that it still won't get better, but boy, they took a step back, to say the least, and they really need to be able to find themselves during these next 2 weeks.
You get Brent Beard on First Coast News. You also get him right here with me on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Look, media people that have followed Cristobal, they don't say this for their health. The MO on him is a great recruiter and a bad game day coach. And you're kind of seeing that in the last week and a half, some of the decisions that were made against A&M and against Middle Tennessee. Brett, that gets us to Florida. You mentioned Billy Napier. Scared money don't make money. I will tell you this. That guy was nuts on Saturday with some of the things he did. Yeah. But a lot of it worked. And that was one of the greatest onside kicks I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that they had a ball in the air as time expired that could have won the game was unbelievable, because clearly Tennessee was the better football team. So to me, there's 2 issues here. Number one, kudos to Anthony Richardson and Billy Napier for keeping Florida in a game that they had no business being in the fourth quarter. But along with that, Brent, goes to show you the amount of time it's going to take. If you're not on Tennessee's level, my goodness, how long will it take to get to Georgia and Alabama's level?
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I applaud them for how they played because, frankly, at some point during that game, they could have just said, look, we hung in here for 3 quarters, and we're going home and trying to figure it out. No, they battled into the end, and ditto that anytime you're throwing into the end zone, although the ball didn't get there, to win the game on the last play, you've really been able to do something. I mean, Richardson, to me, had an out-of-the-body experience. I mean, when you're 24-44 for 453, that's incredible. Now, I've heard this theory, and I'm not sure there's not something to this, that the reason they played so poorly against South Florida was they really spent that whole week of practice working on Tennessee. Now, they would never admit that. We don't know if that's true or not, but it really makes you wonder in a lot of ways. Now, ETN still runs hard. Really like what he does. Naquan Wright and Montreal Johnson. I like what they've got. That's still the strength. But Richardson showed some timing and passing ability that we weren't sure that he had. But he really was able to step up and give Florida fans a lot of hope. I have never heard as much optimism from a loss as I have. And I'm not saying that was a moral, one of your moral victories in the loss type thing. That's not what we're getting at because that's not what Florida does. But I really thought they found themselves in a lot of ways. Loved the aggressive style. It was aggressive. I don't think it was reckless. Now, Napier, obviously, with his penalties, hurt the team a bit, but still, he coached a really good game. We were criticizing Cristobal a minute ago for his game day decisions. Well, Napier's game day decisions kept him in the game and gave him a chance to be able to win. So, obviously, Eastern Washington, and that needs to be a tune-up to go along with that. But Florida's got Missouri in a game they should win, and a huge game with LSU that we'll review later on. Look, there's still a tremendous amount of work to do. They're not where they need to be, but they changed a lot of people's minds, Hack, with this loss. And Tennessee's improved, and Florida should be closer to them. I agree with that than they are. But at the same time, they showed a lot of promise. And look, anyway, you keep Ventrell Miller on the field, the linebacker. He makes a tremendous difference for that defense, doesn't he?
He does. He's one of the best players they got. And to me, Billy Napier is much more Will Muschamp for the fan base than he is Dan Mullen or McElwain. The fan base likes Napier, just like they like Muschamp. So they're going to obviously give him the benefit of the doubt. That is not the case when it came to Jim McElwain or, to an extent, Dan Mullen. Brent Beard, First Coast News. You also get him here on Hacker After Dark on a weekly basis. All right, Brent. A lot of good games in the SEC. We got to go super quick, so a quick thought on each game. We'll begin with Georgia and Missouri. Georgia, I don't know what that was last week. They walk through Kent State. Probably going to be more focused this week. I expect them to have very little trouble with Missouri. What's your thought?
Same. Javon Bullard being arrested was a distraction. The defensive back who's starting, they'll deal with that. And they'll get his attention this week like they'll get everyone else's attention. One thing I did think was interesting, a note that came out today was Georgia has 12 rushing touchdowns, only 4 of them from the running backs. The rest of them are from Stetson Bennett, Brock Bowers, and Ladd McConkey. But again, the difference in this team this year and what I was told last week before I spoke to the Georgia Bulldog Club here was that Kirby now trusts Todd Monken as offensive coordinator and has given him pretty much a license to do what he wants to do. And you've seen it in the offense. That's been very impressive. Now, the problem with that, Hack, is will Todd Monking at the end of the year be a candidate for a lot of open jobs? We'll wait and see about that. But yes, Georgia gets refocused this week on what has to be a shell-shocked Missouri team that fell prey to the Auburn voodoo in Jordan-Hare.
All right, Brent, give me a winner. LSU, Auburn on Saturday.
LSU is it's significantly better team at this point. They got the better quarterback, better line of scrimmage, just going down the line. And it really makes you wonder at this point, Hack, will Brian Harsin be coaching Auburn at Halloween?
Yeah, it was very interesting. He got very lucky that Missouri inexcusably missed that kick, and Auburn stole one last week, or else there might be a very interesting conversation going on already about Brian Harsin. 2 more games, Brent. I guess 3 more games. Quickly, I love the noon kick. Absolutely love the noon kick. Kentucky, Ole Miss. Who wins?
It's one of the better games of the real in college football. Now, keep this in mind. Chris Rodriguez comes back for Kentucky. This is humongous. Now, he's in shape, but is he in game shape? That's what we don't know. And in a game like this, both these teams are among the leaders in rushing in the SEC. I would go with, even though the game is Ole Miss, I'm going to go with Kentucky because I believe they've got the better defense, some of the better linebackers anywhere. But this is a fascinating matchup. Going to be interesting to see what Lane Kiffin does. Jackson Dart or Luke Altmaier. Dart played mostly in the Tulsa win. But both these running games for these teams are capable of getting 250 to 300 yards.
Texas A&M and Mississippi State should be a good one. A&M's got a new life, if you will, after beating Arkansas. I expect A&M to probably go into Starkville and win. And Brent, we got 30 seconds left. Quickly, your alma mater, Alabama, going to an Arkansas team trying to recover from last week. Does Alabama have any issues?
Well, and listen, let me mention Anaya Smith, the wide receiver at A&M, is out for the year. That's a big blow for them. So keep that in mind. Yes, Arkansas will be a real challenge, even though they lost last week in a game they really should have won against A&M. Now, something to look for Alabama. Tyler Harrell, the Louisville transfer, may play for the first time this year. They need somebody to kind of blow the top off the defense, and he may very well could. Bama's going to have trouble with the running game for Arkansas with K.J. Jefferson, Rocket Sanders. The guy Alabama needs to watch out for is one of their own who transferred, and Drew Sanders, the linebacker at Arkansas. I think Bama wins, but this will not be easy with this game being in Fayetteville.
Brent Beard, you get him on First Coast News. You also get him right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Brent, thank you, my friend. We'll do it again next week and review what should be a very good Saturday of college football.
One of the better ones of the year. Hack, always a pleasure. And again, certainly prayers and thoughts for your family and our radio family and all their listeners over these next few days.
You know, we got a whole season, and I really love the guys we got in that locker room.
There's a buzz on the First Coast.
This group is eager to win. They want to win.
It's a second straight week on the road, and the Jags hope to bring back the momentum in Philly. Jaguars, Eagles, Sunday on 1010XL. Proud flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Food is late again.
You should have ordered through EasyCater. Professionally delivered right on time.
EasyCater, huh? Have a pen?
No, I don't have a pen. Does anyone have a pen?
Nah, I'll remember.
Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. That's our thing.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, Emmitt Smith wants to introduce you to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in biologic treatment for pain. I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself. No medications, no surgeries, no downtime.
If you have pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about how you can get lasting relief with biologic treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain. Play golf without pain, walk upstairs without pain, play with your kids and grandkids without pain, get back on your job without pain, live your life pain-free. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
If you or someone you know want to make a difference in your community while developing a career, we have an immediate opportunity for you at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. Starting at $15 an hour, training and a great work environment await you as you help create better futures for the next generation. Share your passion while impacting youth in Clay County. Boys and Girls Clubs are hiring in Orange Park, Green Cove, Middleburg, and Keystone Heights. Apply online at bgcnf.org/clay. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Northeast Florida Safety Council has been keeping Jacksonville safe for 80 years. I'm Dominic Whitley, EHS Director. Whether your organization is large or small, we're a nonprofit that provides the safety services you need to take the worry out of compliance. Benefits of membership include free phone consultation and safety walkthrough, free or discounted online and instructor-led training courses, new hire and vendor orientation services, and much more. For more on becoming a member, visit nefsc.org.
This is Coach Ellen Darley of Darley's Plumbing. Likeable as we are, you probably don't want to have to call us. So in football season, remember these tips that keep your favorite local plumber very busy and could make us visit when you throw chicken wings or bones or even potato skins down the disposal. If you pour grease down the drain or in the toilet.
Ew!
I hope not, but if that happens, call us at Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts. Find us at darleysplumbing.com. License number CFC 056702.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire 86,000 IRS agents. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Pickett here for Zero Res. Fall is my favorite time of the year. It's cooling down outside. It's perfect weather to get your tile and carpet cleaned. It's Zero Res. They're falling back in time. For September only, you get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129, and they'll clean a 4th room free. That's right, the 4th room is on me. At Zero Res, their mission is simple. Become the most trusted provider in their industry. Give Zero Res a chance to earn your trust. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
What player has the longest hitting streak in Major League Baseball history?
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates instead of renewing year in and year out. Log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote in minutes.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Joe DiMaggio holds the record for longest hitting streak, which lasted for 56 games in 1941 with the Yankees.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
He's watching the Gators game too.
That's obvious.
Case Carline is known for his strong opinions.
Listen up!
And he'll give you his instant reaction after every Gators game.
Brought to you by Griffin Service. They fix what others can't. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Time now for Hackers High School Spotlight on Hacker After Dark.
The High School Spotlight, 1010XL, 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. One of the very cool stories through the first part of the high school football season is taking place in St. Johns County. Tucoy Creek, only a second-year program, is winning a lot of football games in year number 2. Very impressive. Mike Kolakowski is the head coach of Tucoy Creek, and he joins us here on the High School Spotlight. Coach, how we doing?
Good, Ryan. How are you doing?
Coach, I am well. Thank you for the time. And, boy, year 2 for your program, and you guys have piled up wins here in the first part of the year. What's gone right out there for you guys so far this season?
Well, I think there's a couple things that going on. We got a good senior class, okay, that has really taken a hold of everything that we've tried to do as a coaching staff, and have just been very, very productive on the field. You look at our playmakers, both on the offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football. It's our seniors, and it's been tremendous, and it's the learning curve. They went from last year to this year, and they're playing a lot faster with a lot more confidence, and it's fun to watch.
You guys have already knocked off teams like Matanzas, like Ridgeview. I mean, established programs, Coach. And you guys are only in your second year. I think a year ago right now, your football stadium wasn't even ready to play in yet. I mean,
That's exactly right.
Are they even surpassing your expectations, your players right now?
I don't know. Yes, at times I'm sitting and looking, gosh, Lord, look where we were a year ago, and look how much better we've gotten, and it is. They have exceeded my expectations, but I'm enjoying every minute of it.
St. Johns County obviously is unbelievably good at high school football. When you think of Bartram Trail, you think obviously Creekside, St. Augustine, Nice, and Ponte Vedra, Menendez as well. You guys, along with Beachside, are kind of the new kids on the block, yet already you and Beachside have proven yourself. Beachside in year 1, you guys in year 2. I know you were new to the area last year, Coach, but now that you've had a year plus in St. Johns County, can you put your finger on it as to why there are so many successful public schools down there?
There's a lot of people here. No, it's been an influx of people coming from up north and from out west or wherever it is. And there's just good football from the lower levels as far as at your middle school and your youth leagues. And that's kind of things that I've noticed. And I've recruited the area here as a college football coach, and I've always knew that there was some talent here. But you get into this thing now, and you're seeing kids that are really buying into the weightlifting. They're buying into the summer program, and at all those schools. This past summer we went 7-on-7 against Creekside, St. Augs, and Bartram. So our kids got to see all three of those teams and how they perform and how they do things. And I think it was a great experience for them this summer.
A couple of more from Mike Kolakowski, the head coach of Tucoy Creek. If they have gotten off to a great start here in year number 2 of their football program. Coach, I think your story is so interesting. A college coach, you come down here, you take over a brand new public school, high school program in St. Johns County, and your fingerprints are all over it. I mean, you put the staff together. You won the first game in program history. You are leading this team in year 2. What has this experience been like for you, a guy that has been around the game of football for many, many years?
It's been fun. It's been different. And that was one of the main reasons I chose to get out of college. It was just time, and my wife and I felt like it was time to get out of the college ranks. And now this great opportunity came down for me, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's kind of like, you kind of get revitalized. I'm moving and I'm moving and I'm shaking and I'm going, 12, 14 hours just like you do as a college ranks. But I'm doing a bunch of other stuff, from lining fields, from getting equipment, and helping the kids, and also teaching and things. So it's been exhilarating, and it's been fun. It really has been.
And for people that want to get more familiar with Tucoy Creek, you're located basically near the World Golf Village, right, on 95.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Everybody knows where Buc-ee's is, and you're right down the street from there. What else do you want people listening tonight to know about that school and about your program?
I think I think what you're seeing from the school aspect of it, I think there is from the top down. We have great leaders. We've got great teachers here, and we got great kids. And I think that's the first thing that Mr. Willits, our principal, and Jeff Holland, who's been around quite a bit as far as an AD down at St. Augustine, is just put together a great teaching staff, and plus Jeff put together a great coaching staff here. So I think that's the first thing. And I think it's all about the kids. I mean, we've got kids that want to learn, that want to train, that want to be taught, they want to be disciplined. So I think it's a great situation for people to kind of take a sneak peek and look at us.
Well, Coach, it's been a lot of fun to watch you guys. And I'm curious, I know you played them in week 1, but very rarely do you see two public schools open up a year apart in the same county. Has Beachside reached out to you guys as far as how you did things and how you went about building your program? That week 1 contest with them was very, very good. You guys won it in the fourth quarter. Have you had any communication with them as far as being the two new kids on the block, if you will?
Oh, from when Coach Duffy got hired, I think probably last spring, him and I have been in quite contact. Him and I have got to know each other and got to become friends. And I was kind of sounding board. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do that? So Coach Duffy and I have gotten along, very well. And I've reached out and I said, I have no secrets. And, as far as I just gave him suggestions and how we did it here, things that we did right, things that, I wouldn't do that just because it just didn't work out like he thought it would be. So yes, we've helped each other, and I've helped him as far as help him, what to do.
Well, it's been a great story to follow. I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully we're talking to you more on the Friday Night Lights postgame moving forward. Mike Kolakowski of Tecoy Creek. Coach, great start to the year. Best of luck moving forward, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much, and I appreciate you getting a chance to get on here. It was awesome. Thank you.
Being an NFL kicker is one of the most complicated positions on the field.
Plus, the kicker, honestly, is like one of the most important guys on the team.
Listen for the Special Teams Player of the Game, brought to you by the urological specialists at McKeever Clinic on 1010XL.
September is here, and fall is right around the corner. But you know what else is right around the corner? Your family-owned and operated dealer, Arlington Toyota. Mia O'Brien here, and right now Arlington's got 500 new Toyotas available. And you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your new purchase. Arlington even has 400 used ready to test drive and take home today. And Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Incredible! Shop in person and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hurricane season is upon us. Make sure your roof is protected. Schedule a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. Get $250 off a roof repair and $500 off your roof replacement with a free warranty upgrade for first responders and veterans. Plus, no money down, no payments or interest for 1 year. This offer expires September 30th and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all of your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 1-800-79-BET-US and get into the action. Don't forget to mention promo code RADIO. BetUS, where the game begins.
Perfect Rack Billiards in Murray Hill is your spot to be for all your football needs. Full liquor bar, 8 pool tables, darts, and shuffleboard. Weekly specials every day of the week from 60-cent wings to seltzer Saturdays, along with wing and pitcher specials on Sunday, and tons of great draft choices daily. There isn't a better place to play pool, have a beer, and just kick back. Half-price apps from 9 to close weekdays. Perfect Rack Billiards on Edgewood and Murray Hill. The best place in Jax to watch sports.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom! You said it.
Visit cannonsofjax.com.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief for joint pain. Leon Searcy here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatment with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injuries or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroid, pain meds, and surgeries are the only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore damaged tissues. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-to-bone arthritis and been told that you need replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for any alternative way to deal with pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give your life back with no drugs and no surgery. QC Kinetics in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522.
Denny Thompson here for Tyson Sound and Security. Widespread adoption of home automation technology has made connectivity an affordable, expected standard in new home construction. But whether your home is new or not, you can have the same smart technology. Save energy by turning lights out remotely. How about the convenience of a home theater with one button or walking in your door with automatic lights? Use Tyson Sound and Security. Visit TysonSoundandSecurity.com. Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts.
You certainly don't want to miss the big games this weekend. And if you don't have time to take care of those insect problems in your lawn, call Peninsular Pest Control. They can figure out your problem and treat it the right way. And it'll probably end up costing you less than guessing what product to use, not to mention your time applying it. Enjoy your football this season and go online to CritterGetter.com to schedule a free inspection. Remember, Peninsular is your critter getter.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
This is Frank Frangie. Join Dan Hickett and me for All Things Gators, our podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Monday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gators Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Time now for Hacker's High School Spotlight on Hacker After Dark.
And thank you to Mike Kolakowski of Tecoy Creek. One of the bigger surprises in the area, the Toros in St. Johns County, 4-1 in only year 2 of their program, and best of luck to them this upcoming Friday night. From St. Johns County back to Duval County, another team off to a red-hot start here in 2022. That is the Inglewood Rams on the south side of Jacksonville. They are 3-1 on the year. They're getting ready for a big game this upcoming week against First Coast. Zach Harbison, the head coach of Inglewood, joins us here on the High School Spotlight. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for your time today. Appreciate you having me on.
Coach, always appreciate the time, man. Thank you. And 3-1 off to the start here in 2022. Big one coming up on Friday night. Coach, how would you assess your team 4 games in here to the season?
I think we're about where we thought we'd be after going through the spring and summer and then the early fall. Our goal was to be 3-1 at this point and then kind of be on a good point in the season as we get into district play. So I'm happy for our guys, and I think we're peaking at the right time as we prepare for district play, and we start with First Coast obviously this week. They're going to be an athletic challenge for us, but we're excited to play them.
Coach, you've won some tight ball games. You've won some games in some blowout fashion. It must be good to see as a coach for you and your staff that your guys can win games amid different circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually talked about that at the end of our game last week, just learning how to win football games in different ways. Even going to our classic, we know that didn't count, but we were down against Reball and we had to battle back and find a way to win. So it's been good to see. It's been reassuring to see our guys understand how to win tight ones and kind of how to play above your opponent versus down to them against teams we should play some of our younger guys again. So it's been good for me, but I'm excited to see a challenge against a stiffer opponent this week.
Zach Harbison, the head coach of Inglewood, here with us on the High School Spotlight on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Coach, you and I have had this conversation during the postgame show, but for the benefit of our Tuesday night audience here on Hacker After Dark. You're trying to rebuild a public school program in Duval County. That's not an easy task. Inglewood has certainly had some success in the past, no question about that. They've also had some down times, and it's hard to rebuild any program, particularly a public school in Duval County. What have been some of the challenges? But having said that, you are doing it at 3-1 on the year, so you're meeting, I guess, some of those challenges to this point.
Yeah, I believe we are. The first thing is keeping your good players on campus. Every school in this county has, all 17 of our schools, our public high schools, have really, really good football players. It's just keeping them. So you got to build that trust with them and then their family and their circle, and then finding a staff of guys that want to work for your school and are willing to do the right things and kind of push the guys to be better athletes. And I think we've done a good job so far. We have a really, really strong group of guys that we've coached for 5 or 6 years now, going back to my time at Southside Middle School. So that's definitely helped, being able to build that relationship at a young age with our guys and keep the majority of them at one school. It's helped us a ton.
You know, to that point, Coach, we're seeing that more and more, whether it's you, whether it's Christopher Foy at Jackson, I want to say Aaron Pinckney out at Ribault, Coach Ram, these guys that were at middle school level that are now up at the high school level. You have known these kids. You've built a rapport with these kids going back to when they were, 12, 13, 14 years old. How does that help you become a high school coach and a successful high school coach at that?
Well, I think the big thing, football is football. There's good coaches at every level. Some of the best coaches in the city probably are coaching on Saturdays, Pop Warner-wise. For sure. I mean, our DC coaches for fun on the weekends, and that's huge. You get to know these kids, you get to know their families, and a lot of it is just trust with the parents and the decision makers. Like, hey, we know these guys at this school are going to take care of our kids, whether it's on the field or off the field. So let's say we have 22 starters, 15 of them are guys that we've coached in middle school, so it's been huge.
Zach Harbison, the head coach of Inglewood, here with us on the high school spotlight. Coach, winning becomes a mindset, right? It becomes a culture within a program, and you guys at 3-1, do you get the sense that your kids now, particularly your upperclassmen, are beginning to expect to win ball games as opposed to hoping to win ball games?
Definitely. And one of our coaches on staff actually says every day, hope's not a plan. So we've kind of ingrained that in our guys. They definitely do expect to win. We speak about that each week, no matter who we're playing. Expect to win, not because we're better at football, but because we've worked harder. We've worked for so long. We're consistent. So that's been a huge talking point for our guys. And like you said, it is an older group. They've gone through some tough losses. They learned how to lose the close games, and they learned how to win close games and then win games they should blow teams out in. So it's just been a process, and our guys are really, really growing into that. And hopefully we can kind of keep building that this Friday or whenever we play. Probably won't be Friday, but we'll see.
Yeah, but speaking of that, since we're on the topic, I mean, as a coach now with an amazing amount of rain that's coming, I think it's going to be more of a rain event for us than a wind event with Hurricane Ian. What is the preparation like? Who are you in communication with? Is there a chance the game is moved? How does all that work when you're going through something like this?
Yeah, so it's just you take it day by day. We've obviously been kind of preparing for it not to be Friday, so we're going to expedite some stuff this week. Not shortcut anything, but hey, we have to get X amount of things in at practice this week. We might have to cut some things out that are less pressing. So it's just kind of, you just wait and see. I've talked to our AD and I've talked to some people at the county level, and there's a meeting tomorrow. That's all I know, and hopefully we'll have a decision. That's more so than anything. It's just having a decision so our guys can prepare. We like to kind of be creatures of habit over here, so we like to be able to keep our schedule as close as it can be. But we know we're going to have to adapt, and we'll be ready to play whenever that game is scheduled.
Final moments here with Zach Harbison, the head coach at Inglewood. They're off to a 3-1 start here in 2022. Coach, big ball game on Friday night. You guys with 3 wins, First Coast, and head coach Marty Lee. They're on a 3-game winning streak. A couple of Duval County public schools going at it. That should be a good one this week.
Yeah, we're really excited. Marty's been kind of one of my mentors since I took over here. I've called him on several occasions, so I'm excited to kind of finally coach against him. They got a really, really good team over there. They're starting to put it together on the scoreboard, which is good for them. They're going to be confident. Our guys are confident too. We know a bunch of them from 7-on-7 and just being in parks throughout the last 15 years of their lives. So it'll be a fun one, highly contested game, and hopefully we come out on top.
Coach, you're doing a really good job with that program. That's coming from a Wolfson alum, so it's kind of hard for me to say that. But you are
that does mean a ton.
Yeah, you are doing a very good job with that program at Inglewood. Best of luck on Friday night, man. We hope we're talking to you under the Friday night lights.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I hope to speak to you Friday as well.
Zach Harbison of Inglewood, always kind enough to join us here on the High School Spotlight. Coming up next, we will go to Justin Barney, Channel 4, as we talk more high school football. What about Hurricane Ian? How is that going to affect high schools moving forward in our area this week? We'll also look back on a terrific week of games last Friday. A lot of district action this Friday night. It's going to be good. Justin Barney, Channel 4, coming up next as the High School Spotlight rolls on here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM on Hacker After Dark.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death on school campuses and for student athletes. Find out how to get free electrocardiogram heart screenings for all Nassau County school students October 18th through the 21st at whoweplayfor.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
The Amelia Island Charity Golf Tournament and Concert featuring Morgan Evans is Friday, October 21st. It benefits Folds of Honor, and you can sign up at foldsofhonoraigolfevent.org.
The Farm Share Food Giveaway at Greater Church of God by Faith on Old Middleburg Road is Saturday, October 29th from 9 a.m. until all the food is gone. This is a drive-thru only event.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Join us for Operation New Uniforms Heroes Gala with guest speaker Colonel Alan West at the Sawgrass Marriott, Saturday, December 3rd. ONU helps veterans develop skills to translate their talents and backgrounds into business.
Greetings, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, and I'm excited to join Operation New Uniform as we celebrate our heroes at the 9th Annual Heroes Gala, December the 3rd.
For sponsorships and tickets, call 904-328-1600 or go to onuvets.org.
Mike Dempsey here with a serious message. The bill is passed and the IRS is increasing collection enforcement. Accelerated Tax Solutions has implemented the zero-wait tax hotline to help you know what these changes mean to you and your family. I've met their local legal team led by an experienced tax attorney. They're ready to consult with you over the phone right away. Like I said, a zero-wait tax hotline. Call today, 652-0000. That's 652-0000 for Accelerated Tax Solutions.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
You know the rule. Fall is for football. Yeah, but don't forget golf. The Golf Club of Southampton wants to remind you if football takes up most of your weekend, then tee it up during the week at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and set up a foursome and see the great shape the course is in right now. When temps start to cool, your golf game should be heating up at Southampton. Check out the great things going on with the tremendous practice area, a course that offers tees for every skill level, and a great group of people to take care of you. It's all happening at Southampton.
Let Captain Kevin lure you into the most Southwest Grill fishing forecast. Thursdays at 6 p.m.
Whoa!
Brought to you by Ring Power.
Come on.
And Stack and Boat Trailer Storage. On 1010XL AM. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Time now for Hackers High School Spotlight on Hacker After Dark.
Back here on the High School Spotlight, 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Well, we thought we'd have a pretty good week of high school football. District matchups all over the place. Hurricane Ian apparently has different ideas. With that, let's go to Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, always glad to be with you, my friend. And look, you can't control the weather, but the weather is certainly controlling the high school football schedule this week.
Yeah, week 6 is off the books as of now. We do have some games sliding up to earlier Tuesday and then Wednesday as well. So we won't lose the entire week 6 schedule, but I would say about 85% of the games off the books, either postponed or canceled. Disappointing because this was a big district week. So a lot of these games already being rescheduled for next Monday and beyond. So good to see those games being played, but disappointing to lose a Friday night in the fall to weather.
And Justin, certainly, I mean, everybody understands the situation. We don't know how bad it's going to be. They're predicting an awful lot of rain Wednesday, Thursday. Probably by Friday night, a lot of it's over, but everything will be so just drenched with water that I bet a lot of these football fields wouldn't be playable anyway.
Yeah, you saw it earlier in the year when First Coast had to cancel their game a week just because of that weather, the inundation of the water. I think Marty Lee said the field got about 7 inches over a period of week, and they just weren't able to play. So if what's being forecast now comes to light with anywhere between 5 to 10 inches of rain in certain parts of our area, I don't see how those fields, maybe the turf fields could hold up to that water, but the bulk of fields in the area not able to handle the rain that we're expected to see. So interesting just to see a lot of these games already being rescheduled to that Monday. So we're going to have a busy Monday night of football and some big games on Monday night already lining up to take place.
Justin Barney of Channel 4. And Justin, it's interesting that it's a district week. If it wasn't a district week, who knows how many of those games would be made up. But because these are games that are going to determine playoff positioning for a lot of teams, they got to be played. So I imagine people are bending over backwards to get these games rescheduled.
Yeah, you've got to, and whether that shakes out as a Monday game or sometime later in the season or even a Thursday game next week like Creekside and Oakleaf are planning to do, it will happen, and a lot of these games will be made up, and you've got to do it. Unfortunate because nothing like a Friday night football, Monday night football, and in high school just doesn't hold that same cachet. But nonetheless, many teams next week will be playing 2 games, a Monday night game and then their usual Friday night game. So it's going to be a busy week in the area next week as we get a truncated week 6 and move into week 7 all in the same week.
All right, Justin, as you and I are talking right now on a Tuesday night, what do we know about the games that are scheduled tomorrow? I saw a tweet from Episcopal that their game against Bowles is, I believe, tomorrow at 4:00. And if that's the case, that's a humongous district game tomorrow afternoon. They're at Episcopal.
Yeah, it's a 4:00 game. It's nice. It's a district game, and I think for Bowles especially, you got to worry about getting back on track. You've had your first 3-game losing streak since really the 1988 season, so not something that's commonplace for Bowles. And again, you lost 3 games to quality teams, Brunswick, Trinity Christian, and then Savannah Benedictine. 2 of those teams are defending state champions. So no slouches by any stretch of the imagination, but Bowles has been banged up by injury. When you don't have DJ Moore back there in that offense, and he's kind of been central to everything they've done. And Episcopal really wants to see kind of where they're at. This is a big game for them. They're 4-0 and kind of riding high under Coach Marcus well. So will be a significant jump up in competition for the Eagles, but at least it's some kind of football on Wednesday afternoon. And also 2 schools in our Georgia coverage area, Glenn Academy and Brunswick, will be playing games on Wednesday as well. So not always lost in a truncated week 6, but very, very light schedule that we're going to see. We have, earlier Tuesday night games on the docket, and then tomorrow night as well. So tomorrow afternoon as well. So a little bit of a whetting the appetite for football this week.
And Justin Barney of Channel 4, I don't know if you know this, because I certainly don't. I'm curious. Such a big game between Bowles and Episcopal, moving it up like that, was there a reason that they wanted to get this in before the storm? Did they not? Obviously, they didn't want to wait to play it.
Yeah, I think you get it. You do what you can to get a district game in. Both the coaches there receptive to doing that, and I think you get the game in. You don't want it to affect, or some coaches don't want it to affect the latter half of their season when things are really starting to gear up and you got more district games, more on the line. So I think this is a good test for both of these guys, as well as Menendez and Gainesville moved their game up to earlier tonight, and also University Christian and Providence moved their game up to earlier this evening as well. So a few teams playing those district games wanted to get those in before the storm comes so they can have a regular latter half of the schedule this season.
So since we're going to talk about a lot of games next week, let's kind of do a mid-season review, if you will. We're at basically the halfway point. We are at the halfway point for a lot of schools that are 5 games in already. I look at that District of Doom, District of Death, whatever you want to call it. I look at Creekside losing to Buchholz and then just beating everybody else. What a big win for them against Mandarin last week. Fleming Island getting upset by Oakleaf, and then Oakleaf losing to Tallahassee Childs in a upset to me last Friday night, Justin. What have you made of that district with Creekside, Fleming, Buchholz, Oakleaf, and Bartram?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Bowles Trinity District a few years ago when Ponte Vedra was in there. And you really had so many good teams. If you remember, Ponte Vedra went over to Bowles and hammered Bowles when they were in the same district. So anything can happen in those crazy districts. And I think we're seeing that play out in that district with Buchholz and Creekside and Oakleaf and Bartram and Fleming. Again, as good as Creekside has been, they did lose to Buchholz. As good as Fleming Island has been, they lost to Oakleaf. Those are district losses. So as tough as this district is, you can't afford another district loss if you're one of those teams, Creekside or Fleming Island. And both those teams have tough games on deck coming up whenever those are rescheduled. I know Creekside and Oakleaf are rescheduled for next week. Bartram and Fleming will get that going too. But you can't lose another game in that district because at some point it just becomes a process of mathematics. And in that region, you've only got 4 wild card spots if you don't win that district championship. And just the process of math shows you that a couple good teams in our area in that district are probably not going to make the postseason. So it'd be bad if you're a Creekside team and you finish 8-2 and 7-3, or same goes for Fleming Island. If you finish 8-2 or 7-3 and miss the postseason, it's happened before. It happened to some good Baker County teams. It happened to a good Sandalwood team when you're going 8-2 and missing the playoffs. So there is some precedent for that in the past. And I think it will be the same this year where you have a 7-win team in that district not make the postseason. Unfortunate, but I think that's just how tough that district and that region is.
Couple of more for Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, when you look at Duval County here at the mid-season point, if we focus only on the public schools right now, I guess Ed White and Rains are the 2 public schools in Duval County that jump to mind. Certainly Mandarin was, and then they fall to Creekside last week, but clearly what Ed White and Rains have done so far, very noticeable.
Yeah, and you look at Ed White, their only loss was a 48-40 shootout to Trinity Christian in week 1. They've been on fire ever since then. I saw them play Riverside last week, and the game was not even close. Tavalis Thomas, Devon Patterson, Isaiah Teal. Those guys are just absolutely smoking it for Ed White. Very good season for the Commanders as well. And Range, haven't played as many games as some of the other Gateway teams. They had an early season bye and came on the road last week and beat Ocala Trinity Catholic. So Range looks as good as it always does. And really, it's going to come down to that game against Jackson. They're only in a 3-team district this year with Ribault and Jackson. So it will come down to Range and Jackson, in my opinion, for that district championship. And we all know what Jackson has done this year, 4-1 under Coach Christopher Foy, and really kind of feeling it.
Yeah, Jackson and Raines, what a terrific game that's going to be. If you talk about the private schools, Justin, look, we spend a lot of time on Trinity Christian and Bowles, and good reason. I mean, they're both very good. We mentioned Episcopal having a good year. University Christian and Bishop Kenny. How good are both of those schools this year?
I think UC is probably further along than BK. Those two teams play later in the season, so we'll get a chance to see that. But Bishop Kenny has not played that difficult schedule, so it's tough to say how good they are. They've got a good win against First Coast, nice win against Middleburg as well. But the latter half of the season for Bishop Kenny will be a telltale sign. I think they're a very good team, but you can't really tell how good those teams are until they start getting in and playing those heavyweight teams. So in the second half of the season, they will play Bowles. They will play University Christian. So we'll see how good Bishop Kenny is. And again, Tim Krause has done a marvelous job even starting last year and kind of changing the direction of that program. And David Penland III and University Christian, really kind of a known entity. And I think it all comes down to that Trinity Christian game. They're in the same district. So one of those guys will not be going to the state semifinals. I think it comes down to UC and Trinity for a berth in the state semis, and very good teams. And I think that's the game of the season for both of those guys. UC will definitely see how good it is when it gets to that point. Big win for them last week, 49-13 on the road against Raven Gap up in North Carolina. So I like what I've seen out of them so far. Orrell Gray has just been a one-man wrecking crew for the Christians.
Justin, if you expanded to St. Johns County, look, we spend a lot of time on Bartram, Creekside. Again, good reason. They're both very good. Tucoy Creek's 4-1 in year number 2. And look, you beat Matanzas, you beat Fernandina Beach. Okay, well, they beat Clay last week. And that got my attention, right? A victory over Clay was like, wow, they just beat the Clay Blue Devils. How good is Tucoy Creek there in year number 2?
Very good. You see that, and it reminds me similar to Bartram Trail. Bartram Trail in its first and second year really did not have any period of adjustment. They've started strong and have kind of kept that going ever since then. Tucoy Creek, really a similar pattern to Bartram. You struggle a little bit early on, but they did have a good second half of the season. I believe they won 3 of the last 5 last year and kind of have kept that going this season. They have a 12-point loss to Bishop Kenny, a very good Bishop Kenny, 5-0 Bishop Kenny. So they look good, and I think we're going to start seeing it develop and play out. Are they a contender for a district championship? They have Palatka when that game is rescheduled early next week. Tucoy Creek goes to Palatka. Palatka off to its best start in more than a decade at 4-0. So good early season matchup for them. And Mike Kolakowski and the Toros showing that they're for real. I thought that was their toughest game of the season outside the BK game, to beat Clay and really to beat a perennial program that's, if not in the playoffs, they're contending for a playoff spot. So I thought that was definitely their win of the season for Tucoy Creek, maybe the win of their program history last week against Clay.
Hey, Justin, as we begin to wrap up here with you, we obviously talk about a lot of the same programs, but I want a feel-good story from you, maybe a team that doesn't get the attention that they probably should here in 2022. Does one or two schools jump out to you that's a very pleasant surprise this year?
Yeah, I think two of them. I think two of them for different reasons, and we've kind of talked about them before. But Andrew Jackson under Coach Christopher Foy, they started that turnaround last year, 7-4, made the playoffs. But again, if you've not followed football and seen how at the bottom that Jackson was from probably the 2011 season onward, you really can't appreciate what they've done these last 2 years. And again, they were, I say it all the time, they were a homecoming game many weeks of their seasons from 2011 onward. And 0-10 seasons, 1-9 seasons, they switched to a magnet school program. They were not a team they were the bottom of the barrel in Duval County. And the turnaround that they've done in such a short period of time under Coach Christopher Foy has been remarkable. And the same goes for Palatka. Palatka, if you followed Putnam County football, Jim McCool was kind of the guy in Putnam County football. Once he retired, Wilson Edwards took over, and then it's been a stream of guys in Palatka where it's just not been that fun to watch Palatka football. And for whatever reason, they just had not gotten it going. They've cycled through coaches. And Patrick Turner in year 2, he has really gotten this team off to a good start. They are 4-0 for the first time, I believe, since 2003-ish. And that is a long time for Putnam County football to really kind of be on the outs for as many good players down there. The history with St. Augustine, that rivalry there. So I think Jackson and Palatka really my two surprise and really feel good stories for those areas of town and really what they mean to their communities. Jackson football on Main Street and in Palatka and Putnam County, really two of the best stories for me in 2022.
Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, 30 seconds left. You mentioned a lot of games next week being moved because of Hurricane Ian, a lot of games on Monday, maybe Tuesday. Is there an FHSAA rule that there needs to be a certain number of days in between games? I mean, will teams play Monday night or Tuesday night next week and then play again on Friday night?
I've seen it before, so there is no rule on that. And as long as coaches kind of agree, I don't know if that's the preferable thing to do. I think a Monday Friday is more of the standard arrangement if there are 2 games in a week, or a Monday Saturday or a Tuesday Saturday. But I've seen those before, and I think when it comes to district games, you try and squeeze them in as much as possible. And really kind of fortuitous for the teams who had off this week. They're not really penalized by having to cram in another game next week. So Atlantic Coast, Baldwin, Bishop Snyder, Clay, Fort White, Interlochen, Paxton, Stanton, Westside all had this week scheduled off. So those guys not having to really scramble to kind of make things right for a schedule and cramming 2 games into a week.
Yeah, that's the luck of the draw, no question about it. Justin, appreciate the time, man. Know you're busy with all the closings and cancellations. Thank you for joining us, my friend. We'll do it again next week.
Take care, Hack. Thanks.
Justin Barney, Channel 4, the local station. That'll just about put a wrap on what has been a very busy Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Thank you guys for staying up late with us. The High School Spotlight. Justin Barney of Channel 4. Thank you to Mike Kolakowski, the head coach of Tecoy Creek out in St. Johns County, off to a 4-1 start this year. Thank you to Zach Harbison of Inglewood High School. They are off to a 3-1 start this year. Also in hour number 1, Brenton Beard talking a little college ball, and Hayes Carline of the Frangie Show breaking down the Jaguars as they get ready to travel to Philadelphia come Sunday afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark, and we will do it all over again. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green in Jacksonville. Again, thank you for staying up late with us on a Tuesday here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. So for all of us here at HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Tuesday night, and we will talk to you beginning at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday here on Hacker After Dark. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
He's got 55 reasons to listen to Jaguars Today every Friday.
It's always been us versus them.
Tom McManus.
I want that played at my funeral.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
School's in session, and here's today's lesson. Buy any new vehicle from the comfort of your couch with virtual test drives, payment calculators, and home deliveries. Plus, every new car comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile peace of mind warranty. That means it'll still be under warranty when you can drive. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Your deadline is September 30th. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Waste Management is paying a $5,000 bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine. Apply online at wm.com/careers.
Equal opportunity employer.
It's time to celebrate with our best deal of the year. It's the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration. If you're looking to move into a brand new Lennar home with everything included, the best time is right now with up to $50,000 your way. Use it towards closing costs, price reductions, HOA fees. Use it your way. single-family homes, townhomes, active adult communities. Whatever you're looking for in a brand new home, find it right now with our best deal of the year. Save up to $50,000 your way right now during the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent